Staff at Royal Darwin Hospital have recalled the horrific scenes they confronted when Bali bombing victims arrived to be treated. Let's take you live now to Matt Cunningham in Darwin. Matt, just remind us, how many people were actually treated in Darwin?
There were 62 victims of the Bali bombings, Ash, who were flown to Darwin and treated at the Royal Darwin Hospital. I'm actually at Parliament House here, where in the next 30 minutes or so there will be a commemoration service honouring the work of the dedicated staff at the Royal Darwin Hospital. Many of those people, Ash, worked for 3 days straight without any sleep to treat the victims of the Bali bombings as they came off C-130 Hercules aircraft and were taken to the Royal Darwin Hospital. I've been speaking over the past couple of days to a number of those people who were working at the Royal Darwin Hospital at the time. One of those people is Brian Spain. He was actually the head of Anesthesia at Royal Darwin Hospital. He remains in that position today, but he was the doctor who was tasked with greeting those aircraft as they arrived at the RAF base in Darwin. Here's a bit of what he had to say.
To see the most critically injured being cared for one-on-one, but then the less severely injured but still significantly burned people were literally stacked 3 high on the litters on the evacuation aircraft, and it was quiet, it was surreal.
Brian Spain, like many other people who worked at the Royal Darwin Hospital at the time, expressed an enormous expression of accomplishment, a feeling of accomplishment for the work that they did over those few days. But he said it was tinged with sadness because so many Australian lives had been lost in the Bali bombings or forever changed. He spoke about the impact of burns injuries to those people that can last a lifetime. Now, today I've also spoken to Gary Gallagher, Ash, a Darwin man who was living just 50 metres from the Sari Club when the bombing took place. In fact, he'd been drinking with some mates on that night. He was supposed to be at the Sari Club, but his girlfriend convinced him to stay home, something that saved his life because 2 of his mates were killed on that night. And he's recalled how he was actually running back towards the Sari Club as others were running away on that night, and described the horrific scenes that he witnessed as they tried to rescue people who'd been injured in those bombings.
It was worse than a horror movie. And this guy just stood on those power lines and died in front of me. What a hero. I don't even know his name. And I thought, that's it. And the word was going around. You could hear people saying there's going to be another bomb, another.
Hearing so many of those stories today, Ash, from survivors of the Bali bombings, but also from the people who helped treat them when they came back here to Australia, in particular at the Royal Darwin Hospital. This commemoration service will get underway in about 20 minutes, honouring those people from the Royal Darwin Hospital who did such an incredible job in the days after the Bali bombings to save so many Australian lives.